I can't. It's like there are all kinds of crazy things happening this morning with this fun little connection to my Facebook page, business page, and my live. We are coming to you live right now. I'm Dr. Valerie Renee Shepherd, and here I am coming to you live, supposedly on my Positively Happy to Be Me page. And instead, I think I'm coming to you live, excuse me, on the Positive Life with the Hartley Center page. Yay! This is a first. I never have seen what came up today going through all this. So thank you if you are here with me. Thank you for sending me some good juju because I'm a little off my game right now. Game is a little bit quirky. So let me start all over. Good morning. Happy Hump Day. Happy Valentine's Day. It's a big day for greeting card companies, chocolate companies, candy companies, and of course, one of my favorites, orchids and roses companies. So how are you today? Here at the Hartley Center, we are feeling blessed and grateful and flowing a lot of good energy and feeling like good energy is flowing us into the wonderful things that we are intending. So if you're in my audience and you're wondering where am I, I'm not on the Happy to Be Me, Positively Happy to Be Me page. I cannot explain why. I can just go with it. So that's what I'm doing, adjusting and rocking with it. So thank you for being here. This is my weekly chance to breathe some light and love into your beautiful hearts, to drop you out of your heads, boop, down into your body, and give you some fantastic tips and wisdom to help you live an inspired and truly, truly deeply happy life. So, happy Valentine's Day. Some of my little tidbits about Valentine's Day. Can you believe that, you know, those little conversation hearts that you give? I don't give them much as an adult, but I did love giving them as a child. 8 billion of those little puppies are manufactured each year. Can you imagine? Like if that's your main business, kind of like when you go to the beach and there are some businesses that are only open during the summer months, like 8 billion candies for one day. They're mostly for this one celebration. Another tidbit, 25% of pet owners give their pets Valentine's Day gifts. I don't think I ever did that. I was a pretty sappy pet owner, but I don't remember giving Maggie any Valentine's gifts. And 145 million greeting cards are exchanged on Valentine's Day. It's amazing to me. It's phenomenal. February is known as the month of love, in addition to other things like one that's really near and dear to me, Black History Month. It is the month of love. And it's primarily because of this one day and all the things that are inspired for this one day. The month of love. It's associated with the history, legends, and some fairy tales, I'm sure, about a person named Saint Valentine, a real human, a Roman Catholic priest. And interestingly enough, some of the legends don't really have much to do with love. So it's interesting how this has morphed into the day that we celebrate this man and this idea of love. For example, a very common legend states that one of his big claims to fame was that he secretly married people in defiance of Emperor Claudius II's order that people shouldn't get married because if the men were married, they could avoid being conscripted into war. And the emperor needed them in the Roman legions. And so they outlawed marriage. And Roman Catholic priest Saint Valentine married people in spite of this law from Emperor Claudius II, and the men were saved from going to war. Saint Valentine was found out, arrested, and jailed. Isn't that interesting? And so it's kind of like, not so much love in that story. And if you're only getting married to avoid something else, well, maybe there's not much love in those stories either. It's not clear. Well, St. Valentine was reported to have been jailed, and before he was executed, he was said to have signed a letter from your Valentine to a woman that the jailer's daughter, in fact, who, now we don't know how old she was, but his jailer's daughter, whom he had befriended and actually healed her from blindness. Well, that's a beautiful, loving act. So there's some love right there. He was ordered to be executed on February 14th as his punishment for these unlawful marriages. And that was the end of St. Valentine. And he's lived on and on ever since. Very interesting. And while, this Hump Day Happy Chat number 232, y'all, what's love got to do with it, is kind of this question, what does love have to do with anything that we're doing? Where is the role that love can play in our lives on a daily basis? What's that role? And on this day, St. Valentine's Day, we glorify the idea of romantic love. That's at the center of Valentine's Day. Romantic love. I wonder how many cards, gifts, and yummy, delicious chocolate are given in the name of a higher order love, a higher vibration love, unconditional love. Wonder how many. Because romantic love, and I think some of you probably experienced this, I know I have, and I know I've even been a perpetrator under the guise of romantic love, it can be pretty demanding. It can sometimes be one-sided. Unrequited love is all about that. It can be self-centered. It can be codependent. It can be toxic. So romantic love, which this day is all about, can have some bright shining pieces closer to high vibration and some really low vibration muck and yuck underneath this idea. And then my deepest question, the highest vibration of this unconditional form of love is to be celebrating a very special, very deeply personal kind of love. And I wonder how many of you are doing it. And that's self-love. How many of you are in a deeply fulfilling, free, fun, flowing form of love toward yourself? Like unconditionally loving all of you. This is a really important topic to me because in the 3 pillars of the concept of self-mastery as I teach it, the first pillar is self-awareness, the second pillar is self-acceptance, and the third pillar is self-love. And self-love is an important subject for a day that's about love. The difference being unconditional self-love is a requirement for every day, forever and ever. Your task is not to seek love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against it. That's a writing that has been attributed to the Course in Miracles and also to Rumi. Your task is not to seek love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you've built against it. Now, when you think about that in terms of self-love, I've talked to people as I've taught this concept of self-love, and I've talked to people who would come up to me in tears because they couldn't find anything to love about themselves. They were in deep sorrow. I don't have anything. The exercise was to write a love letter and make it gushing and make it to themselves. And I'm not shocked anymore. I'm just really saddened by the number of people who have no idea what this concept means. So, self-love, you could think of it as seeing your own brilliance. And make no mistake, every one of us has brilliance. And if you can't find it, it might be that you've built barriers to seeing yourself. That they could be conditioned barriers where other people told you things about yourself and you took those on, and now it's difficult for you to find the magic inside you. But that's okay, because those can be ripped apart. You can get into a deeply fulfilling love affair with yourself. And I'm not talking about narcissism. Narcissism is wanting everyone else to love you as much as you love yourself. That's not what I'm talking about. And certainly that's not a high vibration. But to honor yourself, to care for yourself, to protect yourself, to acknowledge your gifts and to use them, to listen to yourself, that still small voice of the soul that's calling you, to cherish yourself. That is a high vibration act. To give yourself the biggest chunk of your heart and the most of your energy that is spent on giving, to allow yourself to receive your own care and concern, is a very high vibration. The way you love yourself is the way that you will be loved. Why? Because according to universal law, you're living in a hologram. The world is your reflection. So the more you give yourself that which you seek, the more of it will show up. The more you treat yourself as a cherished being in your life, worthy of the biggest box of chocolates and the exercise that doesn't have those chocolates become hips, the more you see that in your life, where people are there to support and nurture and encourage you. Not because you forced them to or made them to, but because they want to. It's a marker of how well you're doing at owning your own brilliance. I wish I could show you, when you are lonely or in darkness, the astonishing light of your own being. That's Hafiz, one of my favorite poets. I wish I could show you, when you are lonely or in darkness, the astonishing light of your own being. You are light. If you're having trouble seeing it, feeling it, knowing it, trusting it, anchoring in it, it's just some stuff that's in the way. The light's still there. And what gets in the way of you seeing it are the low vibration things. The judgment. Gosh, I'm so stupid. The regrets. Why did I do that? The guilt. Ugh. Oh my God, that was horrible. The shame. You should be ashamed of yourself. The feelings of not enoughness that often come from comparisons. Well, she's so much more beautiful than I am, and he's got six-pack abs, and they have 4 children, and all those ways that we are found wanting comparatively. It's a lack and limitation orientation. All of those very low vibration things in and of themselves, when they get in the way of the relationship with the relationship that we keep with ourselves, then we're really in trouble. It's the most important relationship you will ever have is not with anyone outside you on the day of romance. It's not with her or him or them. It's about you honoring and loving you. All that judgment, regret, guilt, shame, blame, punishment, fear of not enoughness, lack and limitation orientation, all of that are little ways that we don't like ourselves, that we remind ourselves of things that aren't really true, like we're not worthy, we're not deserving, we're not enough. You can't build joy on a feeling of self-loathing. That's Ram Dass. You can't build joy on a feeling of self-loathing. And many of you out there are just like I have been in the past, not even aware of the depth and breadth of the self-loathing. Little insidiousnesses. I want to read this poem because it is really just beautiful. It's called Hello World, and I love it. It's by a gentleman named Dan Coppersmith. It's copywritten all the way back to 2006. But listen to this and I encourage and invite you to listen to it with an ears not necessary, like really sink into your heart. Let go of the mind's machinations about the words and see if you can just feel it in the center of your chest. Hello, world. I am amazing, incredible me. Celebrating the being I choose to be. I'm uniquely spectacular. I'm one of a kind. Creativity oozes from my heart and my mind. I'm stupendous, tremendous. I stand out from the crowd. I do things that aren't allowed. I'm inspired, desired. I'm wonderfully weird. I'm unbridled passion. I'm highly revered. I'm outrageous, contagious. I'm a daring and bold. I am honored and cherished. I'm a treasure to hold. Are you getting it? I am gifted, uplifted. I am endlessly blessed. I am sought out for the skills I possess. I am delightful, insightful. I am loved and adored. I live a charmed life. I'm renewed and restored. I am grateful, elateful. That's a neat word. I am centered and wise. I am wealthy and worthy. I am God in disguise. There's some energy in those words. I declare my brilliance. It won't be denied. The world cries out for what I provide. I am powerful, masterful. I am focused and clear. Life beams brighter because I am here. I am blazing, amazing. I can't be contained. I'm a glorious, fabulous, radiant flame. I choose to exude all this and much more. My wings are spread. Watch me soar. Juicy, delicious. Can you imagine starting every day reading that poem? Again, it's Hello World by Dan Coppersmith. Talk about building your self-esteem. And again, it is not about having other people think all those things about you. It's leveraging your thoughts about you such that you can stand in your own power instead of in your own demise. And standing in your own demise is what happens when you are comparing yourself to others, when you are putting yourself down in your own jokes, when you leave yourself out of the equation, when all you're there to do is support others and raise them up, but you can't do that for yourself. The key to every relationship you have now, have had in the past, will ever have, ever as long as you live, is the relationship you keep with yourself. And your self-mastery is what supports you to create that relationship in a powerful way. So when you're finished having chocolates and doing all the romantic love stuff of today, or even maybe if it's not time for you to have that date or go to that special dinner party, take a few minutes and do a self-love inventory. Take an inventory of where it is that you find it hard to appreciate yourself and see if you can start breaking down those little barriers. It's always fueled by curiosity. It's not about looking for someone to blame and shame for why did they teach me this? Why did they do this to me? It's always from the place of, I wonder why I have a hard time seeing pictures of myself. What's that about? I wonder why I can't accept compliments, really sincere compliments. Don't I think I look pretty when someone tells me I'm pretty? I wonder why. I wonder why I can't see myself in colors. I wonder why I don't want to do anything special. I wonder why I have this voice in my head. Every time I feel like I'm ready to take off and soar, the voice knocks me back down. I wonder why. I wonder when I started that. And you take responsibility to go on a little treasure hunt and find out what's in your way. You, more than anyone else in your life, in your world, in your time, deserve your love. That's a Dr. Valerie Shepherd quote. You, as much as anyone else, deserve your love. And so figure out what it's going to take for you to up the ante on the love that you give yourself. Happy Valentine's Day. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings be safe. May all beings be happy. May all beings awaken to the light of their true nature. And may all beings be free. Many blessings to you. Eat some really yummy chocolate. I've got some delicious chocolate that's waiting for me. I'm having dinner with some friends. I'm very excited. And I love myself dearly. Same for you, I wish. Ciao. Bye now.